Hey dear, Zimzi here, and I can't think of a better way to wrap up and end the year than talking about what manga I'm most excited for 2022. It feels really weird saying that, but it looks like there's so many amazing manga titles, so let's just dive in. Okay, first we have Wandance by Coffee, and this one follows this diligent, goody two-shoes high schooler who's tired of living up to his parents' expectations. So when he sees one night one of his fellow schoolmates like hip-hop dancing, he's like, I want to do that. So he decides to join the hip-hop team at his school. However, it's a whole lot of work and training, and he's not quite sure what the future holds for him. And the artwork for this one looks absolutely phenomenal, and as a former ballerina, dance has a special place in my heart, so I am so looking forward to this one. Next, we have an acting drama manga, and this one is Double by Ayako Noda, and this one centers around Takara, who is a natural genius actor. However, he has issues focusing, and he needs his best friend to help him stay on task. However, when he gets this big acting gig, his best friend becomes jealous, and now he has to fend for himself. There's this rift between the two of them, and it just seems like a really interesting manga. I don't see as many acting manga besides, I think, Kasane and Actage, but Actage was canceled. So I'm glad to have this one. And I also got a advanced arc of this one, so I'm very excited to review it next month. Okay, next we have The End of the Journey by Yuki Kamatani. And this is the same mangaka who did Our Dreams at Dusk. So you can expect a bittersweet manga with tons of heartbreak, tons of visual allegory, and this one, it does touch upon heavy topics. It follows a girl who's trying to deal with the death of her best friend, so she wants to take her own life so she can join her best friend. However, she is stopped by this god and this immortal, and they're like, okay, let's journey into the land of the dead together. So it's this introspective journey, and it seems like it's going to be heavy, but I think the mangaka will do that really well. Okay, next we have another one by Yuki Kamatani, and this one is Shonen no Boy Soprano, and like the title implies, it follows this boy who has a very high natural voice, so he can sing soprano. However, as he goes through puberty, his voice begins to change and he begins to have an identity crisis. And this one is really interesting because I don't think I've really seen any choir manga really, so it's going to be interesting to see how that translates into a visual medium. Okay, the next one is To Strip the Flesh by Oto Toda, and this is actually one of Fujimoto's former assistants, so I think this is going to be an interesting one. And it follows this trans boy who's been in the closet. However, once his father gets this terminal illness diagnosis announced, he decides to come out to his father, and they actually have father and son bonding time, and it seems like a very reflective, emotional manga, and it also looks like it explores him being self-conscious of his body through a body horror angle, so it seems really, really interesting. The next one is a really, really rare pick by Glacier Bay Books. They are a small indie publishing company, and they picked up a retro shoujo mystery gothic manga called Star Clock Liddell, and this one follows this socialite in America who keeps having this strange reoccurring dream of a Victorian mansion he had never seen in real life. And this girl in his dream pleads for help, so he's trying to solve the mystery of the house. And the artwork and line work just look really, really incredible. And like, if you are a collector, I think you'd be really happy with this one. Okay, next we have The Tunnel to Summer, The Exit of Goodbye, which is based off of a light novel by the same name. And this one is about this legendary tunnel that supposedly can grant wishes if you walk through it. And there's this boy who recently lost his little sister, and naturally he wants to bring her back to life. So he seeks out this tunnel, he finds it, however he discovers that he's been followed by the new transfer student. And why is it always a new transfer student? But anyway, he was followed by her, and she comes up with a bargain with him. She's like, okay, I'll help you bring your sister back to life, and I'll help you go through that tunnel. But he starts to wonder, like, what will it cost him, and what's in it for this new mystery girl? And yeah, it just looks like a neat sci-fi novel and an examination of grief. Okay, next we have a reprint of a manga series that has been my like collector's holy grail, but it's been reselling for like over $300 per volume. And thankfully it's been reprinted, so it saves my wallet, but I'm talking about No Longer Human by Usamaru Furuya, and it's adapted from Dazai's No Longer Human, which is a very famous Japanese novel. And this one centers around a boy who went through abuse as a child, so he has to put on this facade that he is this normal, happy human being, but he has issues like connecting with people, and it's like an examination of trauma. And I actually hadn't read any adaptation or form of this story, so I'm so excited to finally get into it because it's a classic. Okay, next we have Witches, a complete collection by Igarashi, and this one is an anthology about witches from different cultures, and the mangaka's art style is just super unique, plus Fujimoto recommended this manga, so I really want to read it. Next, we have another reprint, and this is Noise by Tsutomi Nihei, and this story is like a prequel slash proto Blom. It's a cyberpunk novel that takes place in the same world, and it follows this detective who's investigating this series of child kidnappings with her partner, but in the process, her partner gets killed, so she is out for revenge. And just like the artwork and like the world building is incredible, so I really look forward to this one. Okay, next we have a sci-fi, only this one is Yuri, and yes, I love my buff lesbians, and this one has it. This is SHWD, and it follows Koga, who's this rookie at this special hazardous waste unit, and her job is to hunt down these like bio weapon relics that are left behind from like a war or something. And she's teamed up with this other woman who's like very hard-nosed, but they start kind of having feelings for each other, and they try to survive out against these like weird little monsters. And yeah, I love my buff ladies, I love curvy ladies, I love ladies of all kinds. So this one looks very enjoyable. Okay, last but not least, we have Record of Ragnarok, and I avoided seeing the terrible Netflix adaptation, so I want to just see it in its proper form in all its glory. And in case you somehow don't know the plot of this one, it is a battle royale of epic proportions, and it's a battle between like human champions versus gods from different pantheons, and they face off to determine the fate of humanity. And there's like Buddha and Jack the Ripper and all kinds of crazy fights, and this one looks just like a fun ride. Alright, those are all the manga that I am looking forward to, but let me know what manga you are most looking forward to next year, because it looks like it's going to be a good year. Yeah, and I hope you have a better year than this one. Alright, take care everyone.